baby, it's time to ride the funk train. This is Funkmaster V, and I am here to tell you that I am disappointed in myself and Atari, Chuck Norris, Death, God, and the New York Jets. What happened? I wanted, if you remember a couple weeks on the podcast ago, in honor of Chuck Norris crossing that veil, I was going to do a review and a playthrough of Missing in Action for the Atari 7800, incomplete prototype that you can still play and kind of beat. But on my system, it crashes out after every level, and I've got to figure that out. So to satiate your appetite, I'm going to review Elansar for the Atari VCS, which is another kooky game from Orion Soft. It's a point-and-click adventure, much like Myst, which rhymes with pissed. And it can happen to you. You can get pissed playing these adventure puzzle games. I've got my fancy adventure hat, my super cool adventure glasses, and I'm wearing my adventure coat, even though we've got summertime temperatures today. And we're going to jump in on this island and try to solve the mystery like the Dharma Initiative. Ooh, today at Funkmaster V's Big and Funky Productions. What's happening with my chair?
Since the beginning of time, there's only been one website with the Bobalons to claim every game reviewed when it came to the Pro System, and that's Atari7800forever.com.
But now it's time to get on that YouTube trip, babies. And who am I? I'm Funkmaster V, musician, ghost hunter, hat flipper, pro wrestler, comedian, actor, filmmaker, and I'm going to take you on a whirlwind tour of all things cool about Atari and the Atari 7800 with a podcast, news, even new crap. Baby, are you ready to get your groove on? Because it's about to get funky up in here.
The Atari VCS ain't dead yet, y'all. It's on life support. They've called the friends and family in, but it's not dead yet. And Kraz and this fella named Cedric from Orion Soft is dumping a bunch of his Atari Jaguar ports over to the VCS. And let me tell you, pretty cool. I reviewed Escape 2042 a couple weeks ago. I'm playing Escape 2049 as we speak. And yesterday, when I was celebrating finally finishing filming Showdown in Secret City, I took the day off and I downloaded Elansar on the Atari VCS. And let me tell you, if you have a bone in your body that likes UFOs, cryptids, the paranormal, this type of thing, I think there's something in all of us that, if you're of like mind, that we would like to get on a boat and go to a weird island in the middle of the ocean and try to solve a bunch of mysteries. And if that is something that makes you giddy, then this is a game that for $5 or whatever it costs on the Atari VCS store, this is something that could scratch that itch for a little while. This is a point-and-click adventure, and if you know what Myst is, that was something back in the 90s that people just bought so they could show their friends how awesome their computer is. They weren't great games that had great graphics and good sound for the time, and that's what this game is too, even though this is a homebrew that was made much later, originally for some Atari system I've never even heard of, but then they swapped it over to the Jaguar as a homebrew release. So if you've ever watched Lost and you remember the Dharma Initiative, that's kind of what this feels like. We're on an island, we're unarmed. There's rumors of people being on this island, so it's kind of unnerving. But we're basically just trying to find a bunch of crap and put it in our inventory. And here's Funkmaster V tip number 1. On the inventory screen, about 12 or 9 spaces for your inventory. To beat this game, you need to have every one of those inventory slots filled up. So if you can find something and carry it, please do, because you'll need it for later in the game. If you've never played a point-and-click game before, this is a good one to start off with because the island is very, very, very small. In fact, in real life, if this was an island, I think a rogue wave would wipe this thing off the face of the earth. I think you can beat this game, and if you knew what you were doing and you were trying to do a speed run, I bet you could do this in about 6 minutes or less, probably even 5. It's not very in-depth because I've already beaten it. I bought it yesterday. I beat it in 2 hours. Not going to lie. And a lot of it was me getting angry, trying to figure one of the things out. But anyway, I won't get into any of that. Let's talk about the game. Visually speaking, it looks just like something from the 90s on one of these CD-ROM games. The graphics are good. The sound, though, that's what's excellent about this game. The sound has this real thin, old CD-ROM kind of sound effects bank. But I will tell you, the wildlife, the ocean crashing against the beachhead, if you're in the mindset and you allow yourself to be taken away by this Elansar experience, it really does feel like you're in the middle of the ocean and you're on this island by yourself. And it's creepy because there's a lot of things here that don't make sense. Weird doors, weird items, like a saber. There's a turtle that every time you try to interact with it, there's a big no that pops up. Now, I don't know if PETA is trying to tell you not to mess with wildlife because there's a whole big thing about turtles. You don't touch turtles. I don't know if you're scared to death of a turtle. I don't know if the turtle itself was like a man turned into a turtle and he's screaming no every time you reach for him. But it's a strange addition to a strange game. And again, these puzzles don't really make a lot of sense. Games like this test your mettle, i.e. how much bullshit you can put up with before you just rip the game out of the CD-ROM and slam it against the wall. It doesn't really test your intellect. That being said, this game has no bugs, 0 bugs. I've been everywhere on the island. I've hit every button. It works great. And the inventory system pops up and you can use it flawlessly. There is no problem with the graphics, the sound, and technically even the gameplay. The problem is this game is very short. There's not a lot of meat on the bone, as they say. And so you could probably walk away from this thing feeling like, But from a homebrew perspective, I think this Cedric guy does a good job making an adventure for the Atari Jaguar and now for the VCS. Extremely, extremely bargain priced. And it definitely is worth a pickup. If this review sounds thin, it's because I can't really talk about anything or I'll give secrets away, and I don't want to do that. I don't think a Zoomer would pick this game up and enjoy it too much, but for anybody who's in Generation X that remembers the Myst craze, I think this is well worth a look. And for $5, you can't beat it. And if you stick with it and horse around with it long enough, you will beat this game. And it's an interesting story. I mean, there's something I would push back on, and I don't want to talk about it here. But if I saw somebody that I wanted to see, and a guy told me to get off the island, I'd, and I haven't seen her in a while, and I want to, I'm a man, and I have man needs, and I came across the ocean, and I solved your stupid puzzles, I'd probably choke you out. That's all I'm saying. Until next time.